introduce the session.
Thanks to Professor Meera for taking initiative. Actually, on behalf of the entire institute, as a chairperson for our Student Wellness Center, this is a really mammoth task which Professor Meera has taken. And I understand that last 2 days were fascinating for Dr. Shishir Palsapure, and we are very fortunate to have him with us today in our department. This is the first of a kind in the institute we are trying for faculty and staff, because in a recent heads and deans meeting it was discussed that not only students, probably all human being goes through various stresses, and we should know if we are not a good stress manager or something like that, then probably it is better to get some kind of training or some kind of advice from somebody who is specialist in that. So we are really fortunate that Dr. Shishi, a specialist, is with us today, and he will share with us how the things can be handled, because every day as faculty or staff we handle our students in the department, also surrounding in the institute, and also in our day-to-day life, and that can cause both the sides. Probably we can give more stress to the students whom we are interacting with, or we can give more stress to ourselves. So as it should not happen, and things gets balanced, and it can be between colleagues, among colleagues, faculty, staff, everything is possible between two human beings essentially. So we are trying to learn from him that what are the way best we can handle such kind of situation, and what are the techniques, etc. So over to you, Dr. Shishi. We would like to hear from you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Shishi, before you start, just I'll say a few more words too. So, as I've already mentioned in the email, Dr. Shishir, he is, he has MD in homeopathy and MSc in psychology, and he's a very experienced and highly qualified psychotherapist and a renowned trainer. And like Professor Chaudhary also mentioned, he's been helping us training our student mentors for 6 days, and he has kindly agreed to stay one more day and have this session with us. So we are looking forward to it. And Dr. Shishir, please take over.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Meera. And thank you, Chaudhary sir, for giving me this opportunity. Absolutely privileged to be here. So, good afternoon. Who wants to be happier? Everyone wants to be happier, right? Okay, so first of all, my name is Dr. Shishir, and I am a psychologist and a psychotherapist. I primarily train other mental health professionals into how to do counseling. But let's understand what is exactly mental health. I think this mental health word has a lot of negative connotation. I would rather use the CPU health. It's your central processing unit, the health of your brain. That is something that I would like to address this as. Just like in a computer, your CPU is the most important, although everything else is also important, but the most important aspect, and anything that affects its efficacy or efficiency will show its effect on everything. Exactly the same way, anything that affects our brain efficiency, it's an organ, whenever its efficiency goes down, it shows the effect on everything else, and that everything is included in mental health. So the way we feel, we feel happy, we feel not so happy, we feel the negative feelings, this is included in mental health. The way we behave, for instance, now we see that everyone is sitting on this side and not on this side. This is also under the domain of mental health. So why do people behave in a specific way? Everything is in the domain of mental health. How you relate to yourself, how you relate to other people. It's not just the presence of a disorder like depression, anxiety and all. I think anything that has to do with the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave is under the mental health domain. So, and who needs therapy? There is nothing like who needs therapy or who needs mental health treatment or services. Everyone can benefit with it. So, we see that there are 3 Ds a psychologist can help you with. The first D is development, which is your high functioning, but you want to function higher. I like to give this example. Once upon a time, a friend of mine introduced me to his friend, and this friend was a PWD contractor. And he mentioned that, Dr. Shishir, you're a psychologist, but I don't have any psychological problem. But can you help me with this issue? I was like, what's that? He said, I still have 100 crore per year budget of turnover, but I'm never able to reach it. I just get stuck at 83, 84, and then again the same thing. I said, okay, let's study the case, what's happening. So we worked for 3 to 4 sessions on this, and 1.5 years later, he said that I crossed my 100 crore budget long back, and this 1.5 years later, I've already achieved 112 crores. So, well, that's another story that I got only few thousand rupees out of that, out of that, which is 3 sessions. But what did we work on? We worked on a very single thing, which is procrastination. He used to procrastinate to file tenders. He used to procrastinate to get the money, recovery of money. He used to procrastinate to get the contractors working and start the work. So he used to lose a lot of work and money as a result. So you can see that a huge jump was made with just 3 sessions of therapy. Now, do we see that he needs therapy, but how he got benefited with therapy? He was high functioning and he got much better functioning with mental health services. So this is the first D, development. Second D would be distress. For instance, you are tired, you are irritated about something, then there is COVID, there are, let's say, there are rains, there is a traffic jam and so on. So you get distressed, you feel a little distressed. So not at ease. Here, psychologists can help you reduce the distress. And the third, and a very small part, is disorder, where the person has a psychological disorder which is diagnosed or undiagnosed, such as depression, anxiety, OCD, personality disorders, and so on. But just because you are seeking help of a therapist does not necessarily mean that you have a disorder. Right? You can be working on development and also just your distress. So today we are going to discuss, it's just an orientation. I wouldn't say this is a training. Training is more intensive, longer, and with more supervision. But I'm just going to orient you a little bit about how to be happier, how to manage your negative feelings based on what you responded the other day. We're going to have a brief, quick discussion on the first orientation of how to be happier. So I've been trained at the Albert Institute, Beck Institute, and Harvard in the United States. What are we going to learn today is we're going to discuss where does the stress come from, what is stress, is it harmful, it's not harmful, then how to deal with certain negative emotions. We're going to talk about 3 to 4 negative emotions that we most commonly experience. What are the causes of poor concentration? We're going to learn in yourself and also in students that what causes poor concentration. I think this is the number one concern that the faculty has raised, that this is what we find in students. So I'm going to address that. I have done it in students, but they were only mentors. I hope that once you know these are the causes of poor concentration, your perspective towards them would change when they bring up with problems. Very basic communication skills. I understand that teaching is the most stressful profession in the world. I am myself a teacher, trainer as well, so I know how stressful it is. But a lot of us do it only for the passion of it, right? We don't do it for the money. Is it true? Like we are passionate about teaching and that's why we do this. And still it can lead to a lot of stress. Basic communication skills, and then a quick overview of what is effective and what is ineffective, what are the effective and ineffective discipline strategies. So this is what we're going to learn briefly. I hope I'll be able to cover this in 2 hours, but I honestly want to say that I will not be giving full justice to any of these topics in these 2 hours, because these are just like vast. If I ask you to teach me civil engineering in 2 hours, so you say like, what? This can't be done. So you'll only be able to give me an overview of what civil engineering is, but can't give me everything, right? It's exactly like this. This science is extremely advanced, and very diverse. There are many inclusions in this field. So let's first find out, where does the stress come from? Any ideas of where does the stress come from? Within, right? Very good. Within. Any more? Yes, please. Your expectations are not met. That's correct. More inputs. There are no right or wrong answers. We just yes. Thinking, procrastination. Okay. Right. So. Liking. Yes. No, this is very important. I forgot to write down that slide as well. So I did not include that slide, but thanks for bringing that up. So we'll do a small experiment to exactly understand and find out where does the stress come from, right? So, may I? Right. So what you have to do is to think about a negative secret about yourself, a dark negative secret about yourself that nobody else knows, or you wouldn't want anyone here to know, right? Think about it. Take your time. I promise you that you won't have to come here in front of everyone and speak it. So, ready? As I promised, you will not have to come here to disclose the secret. You can stay where you are and you can disclose the secret. But not everyone will disclose the secret, only one person. And I will move my finger across the room and it will stop on one person, and that person will disclose the secret, right, to everyone. Now you cannot change the secret, okay? And everyone is included here, right? So there I go. So, this will be my last training in the department. Okay. Which subject do you teach, ma'am? Yes. Okay. Please, my checkpoint. Get fast. Stop there. All right. Okay. Me? No. Okay. Nobody has to tell the secret. Did my finger pointing make you nervous?
Yeah.
No.
I knew you.
So some people did get nervous, some people did not, right? This is the first clue, right? Second, now this will definitely stop on two people, one male and one female. And this time you don't have to tell a secret. Somebody on behalf of you will tell a good thing about you, right? So now you can assign someone, right? Each one of you think of, you can trust someone who will say something good about you. So this is going to stop on two people again. Someone will say good things about you. You owe them a party, right? Okay, so it stops on you, sir. Alright, first, yeah. So who will speak good of you? Okay. You trust him so well, right? Trust thy neighbor. Yes, please.
He's an excellent speaker.
Excellent speaker, excellent. Alright, is he lying? No, okay, thank you very much. Please give him a big hand. Just stop on one lady as well, and somebody will speak good about that person. Okay, the quiet lady there. Yes, please. Yes. Who do you assign? Who will speak something good about you?
Maybe Prajakta will speak something about me.
Yes.
Very good friend and very caring mother.
Very caring mother.
Both she's been very good.
Wonderful. All right, a big hand for. Okay, now this time, did my finger pointing make you nervous? No, right? So did my finger lose the power to make you nervous, or it never had it? So although the event was the same, which is finger pointing, this time your response was different, right? And if you notice that not everyone got nervous in the first finger pointing as well. Why is this so that everyone reacts differently to the same event? Why is it so? Yes, please. Yes. Yes. Mental models, interpretation, experience. Yes, very good. People's opinion, right? Yes. So all this can be summed into one, which is, it is not the event itself that is sufficient to make you upset, although the event does contribute. However, the meaning that we attach to the event is different in both the cases. For the first part of the experiment, the meaning you attached was, I will be shamed publicly. And in the second part of the experiment, the meaning you attached to finger pointing was, I will be praised publicly. Now, although the event is very, very similar, the meaning is different for both of them, and therefore you feel different. Now, is this good news or bad news that events cannot upset us unless we attach a specific meaning to it? Every event means something to us. Say, for instance, some of you were yawning in the class or in the training session. And then I attach this meaning, oh my god, my lecture is boring, I'm such a bad trainer, I will never be called over here again. Then I might feel anxious, nervous, ashamed, and I might wrap up the lecture quickly and leave. However, if I think this, that, you know what she said, you're holding a post-lunch session, right? They're already tired, then don't get such breaks often. And don't take it personally. If I were to think like this, I will not get upset. I will only be empathetic towards you and probably have a small activity instead. So, if I attach a different meaning, my stress can reduce. This is the clue where we are going to work for the next 2 hours on how to attach different meanings to regular events so that your stress can reduce. Because the events cannot be changed. I mean, your students will probably be as notorious, as non-cooperative, or as underperforming as ever, but you will be less stressed about them if you change the meaning attached to it. Now, why is it important to be less stressed? It's as simple as, would you like your CPU to heat up? Its efficiency will go down. The same way, our efficiency goes down when we are distressed. So this is a curve that we can see that when the stress is very, very low, our efficiency is super low, right? Our performance is super low. So we call it a bore out. Then when it is moderate, the efficiency goes up, and then it has a plateau, and then once it starts going up, the stress goes up, the efficiency goes down. Okay. So we can function in a moderate stress zone. We call it as eustress. Eustress is where the stress is moderate and not too much, not too little. Many times we see students who are in this zone, which is under stress zone. They are just not bothered about exams, they are not putting in effort, right? So do you see such students? And then they put us into this zone. Because we try to work harder and harder and harder, but nothing happens. Like their efficiency just doesn't go up. And then you feel very disheartened that why is this happening? Okay, so they have their reasons to be there. But this is how stress is not bad. I think distress would be bad. Distress, here is the distress. But eustress, this is the optimal range, I would say green range, where it is really helpful for you to be performing optimally. Now let's take a quick poll of you of what kind of feelings do you experience most, right? So take out your phones and go to your lens, Google Lens or any lens, and then you'll be able to see the link here. Try to click that and vote.